Yep.
Still working on emails, but we can do that while we're live. We can
Yeah.
stock photo some stuff, hopefully, and yeah.
We'll figure it out.
I sent you that one photo, Joe. It could be filler if we need it to be.
That seems to be a better height. There we go.
There you go.
Well, 5 minutes behind schedule. It's a good way to start off the new year for Pokey Factor. Now, we're returned to good form,
If people don't know who we are at this point, kind of on them.
So to give you guys an indicator for the mood for tonight, I was asleep like 10 minutes ago.
Are we actually live? Did you
20
get your
minutes.
shit together here?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now,
I'm still trying to get my shit together. Apparently, there's just one photo that's just a bitch. So you don't get that one photo. And that's what was clogging up everything.
Wow, that's a little strange, but okay.
I don't know why. Don't know why.
Yeah.
Chuck it with the same camera and edit it with the same thing that I'm now downloading the rest of the pictures with. So riddle me that one, Batman.
Have it. The world, the universe says no.
It's not even that good of a picture. It's okay, but it's not like the prime picture that.
It's not worthy holding up a whole
production on your phone and hold it up when it's relevant. It's fine.
Jesus Christ.
That's some production value right there. Oh, damn.
Just want to, we got Infinite in chat already giving us grief. Rightfully so.
How you doing there, my man? What are you carrying? So on and so forth. I'm just going to skim over the fact that we're 5 minutes late. It's, yeah.
Look, now people only have to jump forward like 9 minutes.
Oh, so yeah.
It's true. Yeah. If you're watching this live, jump ahead roughly about 9 minutes. Yeah. Which means we have to get a roll on our EDC carry if we got to do it in 9 minutes to jump ahead to some new Bestechs. New Bestechs, Ben, where are you, you son of a bitch? We're 5 minutes late and now you don't show up. Son of a bitch.
That's all it takes.
Calling people out already. 2024. It's the year of the call out. No one sued each other last year, so I gotta have a new cause.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Come on, guys.
Who's Ben gonna sue?
No. I'm just calling people out now. That's my new thing. I'm no longer caring about people suing each other. I'm just gonna call people out. Yeah.
Either way, just being an absolute shit disturber, but I'm here for it. So.
Different lane, same direction. It's a freeway of hate. The interstate of love, Christ. Except back, going the wrong way down the interstate of love.
Oh my God, the love! It's getting further and further away. Yeah,
indeed. Infinite's carrying his S45 Para 2 with CF scales and an MXG clip. CF, I believe, Lotus scales specifically. If I was to hazard a guess, because I'm pretty sure he got them from us.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah. It's a good setup. I kind of want one.
Let's see if this works.
I'm getting some.
Hey, they're starting to trickle. Trickle.
Trickling.
Trickle. So what are y'all carrying? 7 minutes. Let's see it. Do what you got to do.
Who wants to go first?
I don't. I will, but I won't.
Okay. I can go. I slept through the period of time I normally would have taken a photo. But this is a knife most people are probably going to be very familiar with. The Endura in gray FRN and VG10. That's pretty scratched up and beaten up from years of use and abuse, and it's still perfectly solid.
So, can we chalk these up to knives that we forgot Joe owned?
Yep.
Like, oh yeah, you own one of those.
Oh, that you forgot. I was like, I use this all the time.
No.
Yeah, no, this is the lazy around the house carry for random bullshit chores, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Good lightweight option around the house.
I honestly don't know how much it weighs, but for how big the blade is, it is a pretty lightweight knife.
Yeah, absolutely. Just want a quick shout out to Dick Richards and Ben in chat. Hello. Apparently Dick Richards pawned all of his knives for eggnog. So
How much eggnog, and why didn't rum come into the barter mix at the same time?
Those are
I
perfectly
feel like
valid
they're
questions.
ubiquitous. Like, I know you got to add it, but I feel like if you're having eggnog, if you're drinking eggnog without rum, just have a piece of cake.
Nah, see, I actually missed out on having any eggnog this year, and I'm legitimately really salty about it.
Mm.
It just didn't happen. That was too many
I
missed
had some,
opportunities.
and it wasn't salty.
No,
Well,
No, it was sweet and delicious.
that's good. Good for you.
did you
Yeah,
guys see
it was good for all of us.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice the explosion in like non-dairy nog options?
Oh, I did not.
Yeah, there was like
Yeah.
wheat nog and almond nog.
I think I did see the almond nog.
The wheat nog confused and concerned me, if I'm being completely honest.
It's barley. It's
Yeah.
barley nog. Yeah, it's not gluten free.
Is it at that point just make beer?
And pour it into your eggnog? That's disgusting, Paul. Why would you think
Eggnog
such a
shandy,
thing?
it's fine.
That's not fine at all, sir.
Come
Good
on,
stuff.
bubbly eggnog, it's good for you.
Good stuff. Are you carrying surprising things, Paul?
I maybe.
Okay. Okay. Well, all right. Go next. I'll go next then. That's fine.
Okay.
I'm carrying new to everyone in the chat, but I've been talking about it for some time and I got me one. Santa delivered a Christmas present to me this year, unexpectedly.
Sick son of a bitch.
Yeah, I know. I still believe. It's crazy. But when you believe, dreams really do come true. And the dream being Viper Cut Magna. Basic.
Very nice.
In the Magna Cuts.
Liquid hot.
That's pretty cool.
Magna Cut. Dick saying no new knives over Christmas for him.
Glad somebody's seeing the updated chat.
Yeah. I got a whole second screen that I got for Christmas actually that I'm watching about right now.
We all
Nice.
are, Joe. We all are.
Oh.
Yeah, funny enough, mine was also a gift from Santa Claus, I guess. I didn't necessarily wrap it and put it under the tree. It was sitting on my desk, not being carried out and about.
Santa is a lazy man when it comes to your apartment, man. I mean, like,
Yeah.
he doesn't even come down a chimney. Like, he has to figure a way to sneak in the front door.
You know the seal meme where like the seal's like side-eyeing as it like comes past the aquarium window? Like that, and then just drop it in my lap and keep going.
See.
It was a drive-by.
I was thinking more like the scene it's in several movies, Cradle to the Grave, where they got like Mission Impossible, blah blah blah, has the rope from the floor above and comes rappelling down and through
the window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you work top to bottom, Santa can get some work done in some condo buildings. I'm just saying, man. Like
I'm just saying, you kick that window in, and I would be frozen to death right now.
Well,
hey,
part of his
Merry
gift
Christmas.
Part of the gift was fixing the window on the way out.
Oh, that's nice of him.
He'll send you a bill.
He just launches in with suction and then pulls back out.
And all the glass just goes back normal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I like it. But yeah, I got myself a sprint run subvert.
Yeah, you did.
Spider Town for some alliteration.
Hey, look at that. Carbon fiber and 20 CV. That's a winning combination right there.
Indeed. You like my blurry photo?
I do. Yeah. I like the composition of it.
Yeah, I took some photos and they didn't turn out great, and I didn't have any other photos of this knife, and I wanted this to be my knife for the night. So,
and I remember you saying that you were as you were taking that photo, you wanted that to be the one.
Yeah.
So that's too bad.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that, 729. We talked about all of our knives, and holy shit, we're making it happen.
Look at that. But yeah,
goal oriented.
by the end of the night, after stuffing myself with salmon sashimi, I was a little blurry-eyed too. So it seems appropriate.
Yeah.
This is from Paul's perspective. That photo.
After 23 pounds of salmon sashimi,
That'll do it.
Yep.
Kill a man at that much sashimi. Interpret that how you will.
Look, when they stop serving your table,
it's like
You
kill me
wanted
with
free barbecue.
kindness. Like yeah. It's an all-you-can-eat place, and we did not get all-you-can-eat for the amount of time we were there. They tried to starve us out, boys. It's
they did.
Mean-spirited
yeah.
way to run a business.
You eat like Free Willy. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
100% little John Panay there.
Yeah.
Server comes to the table. My God, you're still here?
Get out.
Yeah. This is last call. That's all we're doing. That was literally the words out of his head. Not we're taking last call. Not do you want anything else? Just picks up the sheet. This is the last of the food that you guys get.
Stop it.
Get help.
Yeah.
All
Do
right.
you know where the all-you-can-eat place is?
It would have been really funny if we would have been like, oh, in that case, let's add some more things to it.
Really make it worth your while, yeah. Huh.
Absolutely.
All right, gentlemen.
Apologize if
We
the lights
are,
get really distracting. But I don't know what's going on with them, so.
That's okay. There's been power outages because of the roving power outages because of the extreme cold here in Alberta. Canada. It's expressing itself as being Canada right now.
So if stream just disappears, sorry about that.
It's because we've disappeared into the polar Arctic tundra.
It was either that or freeze to death.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
main event.
Spoopy. Indeed.
A little class, a little budget, a little class.
Where are we starting?
Well, the Lito photos have arrived, all two of them.
Yeah, the third one was being a bitch. That was the one. It was a Lito photo. You should have got Glok photos by now, too.
Yeah, I'll try restarting my mail client here once I've got these going. But we... Oh, no, there they are. There. Sweet.
Yeah,
we have all of them, which is good. It's good stuff.
We got some in hand, and we got some size comparison, which is the main thing. I just didn't get the picture of the Lito leg literally by itself, just like so we could have it screwed. That was the one that it was like, no.
You get nothing.
Apparently you were correct in your assumption earlier there, Dennis, commenting on we're talking about Bestech and where are you, Ben? He's excited for these reviews.
Ah, good. He gets to hear me bitch about the Glok. No, I'm just
kidding. Do we want to start with the Glock? Start on a low note?
No, you said Lito. and we can start there.
Sure. Here's a relevant size comparison there. Start with that. Look at those highlights. Look at that highlight off that chamfering and the thumb stud.
Indeed.
I try.
Is the front edge a different color than the DLC, or is it the DLC that's reflecting like that?
I think it's a DLC
like the black
reflecting.
It's just the DLC. Okay. You can also see the line on my Dragonfly being pretty highlighted from the angle of where the light was coming from on this one. Yeah.
Absolutely. I like it.
I wish it had some blue chamfering on the black. Companies, you know how expensive and ridiculous, because it would just die so fast. It would be the first thing that faded.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. But even that, you get a pretty cool look when the anode starts to fade.
I don't have it anymore, but my when I had the ZT Sinkovich, it was kind of neat seeing the just the high points on the edges of that knife on the handle starting to wear in. But the steel didn't, the blade didn't change at all. Pretty durable.
Yeah.
So there are different versions of the Lito. Here's a brief showing of the rest on Bestech's website.
We
saw the one with
offering?
so there were 2 DLC variants, 2 plain tie. The plain tie were both different versions of Cannabis Micarta. DLC gets you the choice of either olive wood or carbon fiber. Looks like they're all the same price except for the carbon fiber, which is $10 American more. Yeah. Inlays on both sides of the knife, which is quite nice.
I'm a big fan of Bestech not telling us weights on their website. That's a good time.
That's super useful. I will say it does feel pretty lightweight in hand.
So to give you the rest of the rundown, it's 6.35 overall, 2.48, 2.5-inch blade. Handle, 3.86 blade thickness, 2.7 mils, titanium frame lock with olive wood in this variation, M390 ceramic ball bearing. Don't know weights because they're dicks.
Well, apparently the carbon fiber version weighs 2.96 ounces, and I imagine it's going to be fairly similar in weight to the olive wood.
One of the reasons I actually went, I was looking for a variation between the 4 to see if they actually had weight variations or if they just called them all the same weights between the inlays and the blah, blah, blah. But they don't tell you. It's a big secret. Shut the hell up and don't ask again.
White Mountain Knives apparently has it listed as 2.86 ounces for this exact version, but Blade HQ just reuses their measurement of 2.96. So basically 2.8, 2.9 ounces is a good estimate for that.
One of the reasons I ask is no milling, sir. No internal mills.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So,
I was hoping Joe at least had one other picture because I do have one picture as well of me hand size comparison. You'll notice Dragonfly size comparison, not that much difference. I mean, 2.5-inch blade is not a big knife. I have given it the rule of thumb that if I don't think it's a 4-finger knife, I do leave my hand open, and I did in this particular situation. So
that's a good call. Yeah.
Because the pinky's kind of trailing, right? Like it can sit there, but it's
sometimes when they taper the back end like that, your finger slides off rather than being retained, I find.
And it's like the hump is somewhere for it to sit. It will like a 3-finger very nicely type of, but
yeah. So it's a pretty diminutive knife, but it's not. It doesn't get lost in your hand too badly, at least in my experience. But
no, the onion bulb of a handle, as it were, definitely fills it out a little bit. It's rather than a CEO style or a crossbone style where it's slimmy slim.
Here's a
they don't try to hide what they are. Yeah.
Very slim, very slender in handle. And I think with the length it works, but that's actually one reason I'm not 100% sure I like those the mini CEOs, the micro flippers, specifically because they're so small.
The compacts and the yeah. So in diddly. You'll also notice a fancy silicone disassembly mat behind this.
I was gonna comment on it.
Yeah. So I also noticed you have a Lito with you. Is that maybe a spoiler for your feelings on it, or you just happen to bring one home?
No, I have all of the knives here because I took pictures of them at home.
Cool. Okay.
we had enough backstock that So also I figured because we have enough backstock, I could have an extra one for the live stream and kick one here because I am at the shop tomorrow and we're going to back. The other thing as well is if questions occurred and we didn't have a knife on hand, well, now we do. So it might be a practice if we have 3, 4, something to be able to spare.
Yeah. It's nice when we have that available to us.
Because sometimes questions come up that we don't have come up in the week while we're playing with it, or these guys have jackass questions that we have jackass answers for. So
yeah.
Awesome. Paul didn't respond to that at all. No. I'm sorry. Did you not give jackass answers? Are you trying to give real answers again, Paul?
I'm gonna be honest. I was 1,000 miles away.
I know. I saw it. I'm calling you out on it.
Yeah,
It's a
I
thing,
didn't know where
don't you
I
know?
was.
But yeah, M390
So that
titanium.
energy drink, you say? Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
No, I was saying. What was I saying? I don't even know. It's
We were talking about grip. We're talking about size, the curvature of the handle. Yeah.
Have we talked about?
questions come up with jackass questions with jackass answers. That was my comment.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can give some jackass answers.
For sure. One of the jackass comments, because I didn't get more than one picture, but the wire clip in wood is an interesting choice. And there's one or two spots that definitely come close to not being much wood.
Yeah.
If you can see.
Yeah, that is a thing for sure.
So, and same with micarta, and same with the Kruben Fruber.
So, with the type, as far as it being generally like a concern with micarta, I don't think it really matters too much. It's a pretty homogeneous material. Woods I would normally be more cautious about, but olive wood doesn't seem to have an issue with like what's a good way to phrase this? I think olive wood is a good choice as far as like keeping itself together in those areas where there's very little material remaining. Other woods maybe I'd be a little bit more cautious about, but
it is still being supported underneath as well, right? Like it's not something that's completely cut through.
yeah, it's just like pocketed basically.
There's more wood underneath it, so to speak,
to help support. Yeah, I definitely.
It's got spare wood.
If you were to catch that clip, there's a decent chance that you might lose a little.
And this is where I'm thinking some lateral torsiony stress. I've heard complaints about wire clips in the past. It's a love-hate thing. It's my personal favorite clip on the market. Go fuck yourself. Just figure it out. But I'm the first one to admit that my Dragonfly doesn't sit quite as right as it used to because it's been tweaked a couple times and I've tried to fix it. I've actually thought about fixing it tonight, but we'll see where we get.
Yeah. Depending on how deeply the wire clip sits in the material, like olive wood, you may be a little bit concerned because it's a natural material. It's a little bit of a softer wood, relatively speaking, right? But I'll say that when I caught the side of my original clip on my Cali here against the side of a table and had it shear and break off, there was no resulting damage to the carbon fiber underneath. So,
and I mean, that's more of a comment on, again, the integrity of that carbon fiber and the voids and the quality and the blah, blah, blah. That means Spectraco's doing it properly, right? Like it's,
the depth of that wire, how deeply it sits in the handle material underneath the screw, I think that also plays a big part in it.
Even the fact that yours is just like ramped down, whereas a lot of wire clips have this.
See, mine used to be. This is a replacement clip. The original was a deep carry. I had to modify this. Yeah.
You should just buy Paul's Rips Garage Tech clip off of him and put a milled clip on that because that's going to look just as good as whatever the hell he's doing with it right now.
Maybe.
There's no hate in my heart.
No, it's spilling out of your mouth.
I don't leave it in my heart. I let it be out in the world, so it doesn't have to be in my heart.
How kind
You're
of
welcome.
you. How kind
it's
of
not
you.
in your heart. It's in mine now.
Paul will remember this. Yeah.
I'm good like that.
Yeah. Excellent.
So a couple things. M390. What's the price point on this sumbitch? I don't even know. 189 American. That's a swallowable pill.
Yeah.
For M390 in titanium?
Yeah. Okay. Carbon fiber is $195, so $6 more for some reason.
Yeah. Bestech, even though they're the manufacturer, still insist on having an original price and then a discounted price.
Yeah, 220 being their original price, 189 being the cut price.
Even if it's fucking weird. But that being said, even at 220, 230 American, that's not awful. I mean, given the way price, for what the materials are and for the fit and finish. Speaking of, action on this knife is very nice.
The Spidey flood.
Yeah.
You're a monster. I don't like to spidey flick thumb studs. I'm learning that very quickly.
Oh,
That's
it's one of my favorite.
I can do it. And it was with this one with this like onion bulby kind of like pommel being nice and round, you can get it like into this like sweet little wow. But yeah.
It flicks so nice. You can even front flipper it.
So I was able to do that maybe 3 times. That is not a knife I would recommend anyone try to front flipper. Don't do it. It's dumb.
No, I just wanted to see Dennis's face do what it just did, where he immediately looked at it and his head was like, "Can I?"
So
No,
I'm just going into a photo
Know
here on
thyself.
the website to show you where the jimping sits on that knife when it's closed. It sits barely above the center line of the pivot. So I mean, like, yeah, sure, tactically you could do it, but
Yeah, I just did it.
fuck, who
Look, I'm
hurt
just-
you? Who hurt you to make you think that's the right thing to do?
Yeah,
I'm just flexing. It's all right.
it's
Not-
no,
it's
like
not-
I said, you can do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just not
Yeah.
great. It's just not great.
No, it's definitely better on the flick.
It's like trying to like trying to open a knife like that with an Emerson wave. It's like, sure, yeah, it's technically possible, but fuck.
It
come
is
on.
trying to front frick for sure. That's undoubtedly what it's trying to do. It's
Something's
This
freaking
photo up
alright.
on screen right now.
Oh,
is
I literally
showing off-
just switched.
Oh, they just.
Yeah.
um,
I'll go back. This one? Yeah.
Okay, no, that's perfect. The pocket clip is what I'm looking at. The
Mm,
one thing that I don't like about the wire clip on this knife
how
is
it
the fact that
spreads.
it's like the
Yeah,
opposite of the one on your Cali.
you can see it. Well, see, that's funny because,
Because it's wider at the tip, isn't it?
yeah, wider at the tip, so I had to squish. Because this originally came off of a native 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, super weird. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I don't know whether that wire is actually under tension or not because I haven't loosened it out to take it out of the knife. You know, it being a new knife and all that, and trying not to mess around with screws. But even if it is under tension, I think that's a weird choice. And if it's not, it's kind of strange that they went to the extra effort of doing it. I almost feel like they had ordered or had produced a bunch of these clips preemptively and then decided to go with a different screw head and then realized, well, hey, we could just stretch it.
Works,
It'll
but-
work. I don't think there's going to be an inherent downside to that. But maybe just be aware of that when you're disassembling the knife. Just expect that there's going to be some spring tension.
Maybe the distance between the screw and the slots. So if you do look at if the screw was removed,
Yeah.
how much integrity of the milled wood with those two lines with a hole drilled all the way through. Maybe they needed to have a smaller hole than they had originally anticipated, so they needed something with a bigger
Big fat head on it.
face. Yeah.
Yeah. It could be that because of that they needed to switch parts around. I could see that.
Now the micarta ones are the same way, right? So it's
Yeah.
not like
This is probably something that they had to do because of hardware changing. That would be my guess. I think you're right on the money as far as realizing they needed a different size hole for whatever reason.
Thank you for doing the thing that I didn't even get a chance to ask you to do.
To
What's that?
see the other version.
Yeah, well, I want to see
Yeah.
all of them.
That's fair. Yeah.
I'm now shopping. Okay.
okay, so here's my other thing with this particular knife. You talk about and in the pictures, and it shows it off pretty nicely on Bestech's website about the pivot color on especially the carbon fiber and the olive wood, the black DLC with the blue. I will say the blue doesn't pop like they claim. Like even here, it's probably poppier in my camera.
Yeah.
Even
It's
blurry and unfocused. Yeah. For some reason. But anyway.
yeah. It was extremely subtle to the point where I didn't notice for the first few days after we got the thing in that it was actually supposed to be like a blue pivot collar.
It almost looks like a
It's
chrome.
blurred right now.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. It's a little.
So that's the one thing I'm
Nope.
curious about the gold or the bronzy, whatever it is, pivot color as well.
Yeah.
Because again, in the Bestech photos,
It
It
looks
looks like it's
pretty
got some
gold.
nice gold, almost brassy pop to it. Gold anodized titanium got some good zing, right?
I do
But
like that one with the black micarta. Good looking.
Mhm.
I think the darker micarta is the way I would go with the uncoated variation. Um, it yeah, I don't know, but I kind of hesitate to say this, but I almost prefer the olive wood version to the carbon fiber version. And I'm
Really not.
not. I think it
yeah,
might just be because of the visual contrast. Also, the fact that it's a wood inlay as opposed to an onlay. I don't know why that makes such a big difference to me, but I don't know. It's kind of cool. Not
and I will say, really nice and seamless too. Like compared to some other companies who have done some natural wood stuff in the past, and even when you're going with an inlay in particular, whether it's natural wood, whether it's carbon fiber, the seams are as nice in person as they are in the pictures. Like especially on something like you're doing with a frame lock, where you've got to have like the lock itself lined up pretty good with that over travel kind of inlay. You
yeah.
can't have any gapping in that because it's going to be obvious if it's not well done, right?
And
Yeah.
if you have a properly calibrated and set up mill to do this kind of inlay work or 3D router, whatever your factory's using, the big thing is just paying attention to the tool life for your end mills and being really particular about, okay, you're making sure that these finishing end mills they're only good for this many jobs, and then you cycle them out. Um, but not a lot of companies seem to want to go that far. Oftentimes, what you'll see instead is inlays that they're a bit more gappy than you would otherwise expect. So when you disassemble the knife, like an inlay will just pop out. This looks similar to. And I sold it, so I don't have it anymore here. But the Vero isotope that I had, which was also made by Bestech, they had a super tight carbon fiber inlay. Like the difference between from one exterior surface to another on the inlay, the difference between that and the interior surface of the titanium and the other interior surface where the inlay goes into, the difference was less than a tenth of a millimeter. Like it was very tight. Like that, it was a perfect fit for that knife. And there was actually a little access hole in the back you had to poke in order to get the inlay to come out because it was such a nice fit.
Nice.
This looks like nothing
Probably
different.
had like vacuum seal, like the Hele tubes style, where you couldn't get it in without that relief hole. Brian Mooney,
Indeed.
woo,
Woo.
sir, Mooney, woo. It's a Woony moo or a Mooney woo, depending
The
on.
old Rooney Moo.
Oh no, my woonies.
We were drinking eggnog earlier in the season, so it's
They're
yeah.
gonna murder.
Here's some Woony moos for sure.
Yeah,
Indeed. Woo, woo. I like this little bastard.
yeah.
Yes. This one kind of was a sleeper for me where it grew on me over days.
I think that was my experience with it as well. Um, and for a small knife, like it's executed pretty well. I didn't really detect anything as far as like side to side play or up and down play with the model that I played with. Like we just finished talking about, the inlays look good. Um, and it's nice to see kind of a classier offering that has wood inlays that doesn't feel cheesy, for lack
I
of a
was
better
still
term.
looking for like some modern holders that have proper wood inlays, and it's harder and harder to find. Everything's G10 micarta carbon fiber, it's all synthetics because they're, and so to find that it's harder and harder. So to see Bestech do that and do it consistently, like whether it's the one that's sitting on our shelf right now or the one that I'm playing with, I haven't seen an
Pretty
issue.
good, yeah.
It's so again, even that compared to some other inconsistencies that we've seen knife to knife and out of the box, like the ZT that just came out, or like some other things that we've reviewed recently, right?
Does the knife smell like olives?
I don't know. I don't like olives, so no. No,
Okay.
it does not.
Oftentimes,
Yeah.
olive wood will. That's. I was just curious.
Smells Austrian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I I don't know if we really touched on the specifics of the blade shape,
Not
but
yet.
in
No.
this kind of small little like kind of size it is, that 3-finger grip,
Yeah.
I really dig this like little scalpel blade.
You know, for a guy who routinely says I'm not a big fan of trailing point blades,
Uh-huh.
I really seem to be enjoying these trailing point blades lately.
Well,
So
the tip is not above the
actual
Fine about it.
mild slope. So
Yeah.
Oh, really? That's funny.
yeah,
It just
I'm gonna
visually, it just looks like one.
very
Yeah.
much. Yeah. I'm gonna call it a Tweety Bird blade shape because it's got
Okay.
the blade like something about it. It's got size, shape, point on it. It's just like stabbing someone with Tweety.
It
Oh,
kind
Tweety.
of has a, I say it too much, but a like a folding sharp finger kind of vibe to me.
Yeah, and again, little trailing
Little bit.
points. If you
Yeah.
got rid of that back swedge and had it come back up maybe a little bit, something. But
Yeah. The edge itself is relatively consistent in its curvature, which I really do like, just from an aesthetic standpoint. But as far as utility goes, that's a pretty fine little tip for you to work with. Like, they remove a decent amount of material to get there, and I think the knife is better for it. But yeah.
So I was looking for some things to actually compare this knife with.
Hmm.
And like the Dragonfly is not a terrible comparison with it because it is kind of in that like 2.5 inch, kind of almost full finger if you choke up on it, not quite, blah, blah, blah type of thing. But then you start thinking about this knife as far as like folders in particular. And I'm like, there's not really a knife. Yeah, there's a size comparison. So I could have found some things that were 2.5 inch and blah, 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 that were a size comparison. But as far as the style of this knife and what to compare this knife with, it's actually only fixed blades. So that's actually something that I'll actually give them credit for is you can't really find this knife or something to compare this knife with in a folding version, or it's hard at least. Like a buck nobleman is kind of the weirdest, strangest, like, and some buck blades, I guess, right? Like it's but
yeah, it does
in
definitely.
your line of thinking, like everybody makes a bug out. Nobody else is making this. I completely agree with you.
And so comparing it, I would actually compare it more with fixed blades, like a bird and trout kind of style knife.
Yeah.
You're talking about that scalpely, and a little heavy in the hand for a bird and trout, but the blade shape definitely leans towards like almost an outdoor edge kind of caper type. Like,
100%. And I kind of touched on it early, like with the comparing it to like a scalpel blade. That bird and trout always feels like kind of like a little scalpely thing.
Yeah.
In my mind.
Bark River made a ringtail, and again in that kind of the blade shape itself, and
So
absolutely.
Outside of just being a handy size, do you have a particular use case for this knife in mind?
Well, it kind of fits into the same wheelhouse as like a Pleroma, right? Kind of just like a classier gentleman's, but still kind of funky, cool, something modern, something that's a conversation piece. Hey, that's a classy little what do you got there type of thing, right?
Yeah.
So for me, it like this was actually in my own collection, probably what I would compare this thing closest to.
That's a fair comparison. I kind of feel it falls in that little bit of like gentleman's carry. Like you could wear this thing to a wedding pretty easily, and nobody's going to be like, "Hey,
now,
Rambo."
Do you? Well, I really doubt you'd get that reaction from the other variations. But do you think that holds as
That's the Bowie knife on my hip, Paul. That was the Bowie knife on my hip, and I was the groom. Fuck you. It's
my wedding. I'll do what I want.
Yeah. Don't call me Rambo, asshole. Why are you at my wedding?
First of all, hurtful.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you think that holds as true for the other variations? Because I think the wood does lend it some class.
I think it does in this case.
I think all of them can get away with it. I think the wood one, for some reason, and actually, I don't know what of the micarta ones, the natural micarta one leans towards being a little more classier for me for some reason. Get away with it for some reason more than the black micarta. I don't know.
The more contrast I see in colors and surface finishes and handle materials, the less tactical a knife seems to be, generally speaking. Like it not that I would say that the black with the carbon fiber looks necessarily more tactical, just given what it looks like, but
whereas the black carbon fiber one is like mob boss's wife. Like
yeah, a little.
It'll still get you, but just a little way.
Yeah.
I would be really curious to see the variation that we're going to see in that olive wood, because you can get some really, really funky looking olive wood. Well,
and even between the one that we have photographed here and the one on the website, the show side scale for the one that Dennis took photos of looks gorgeous, like absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, that got a load of burl kind of.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the swirly swirls, and on even the non-show side, like I don't know if I can show off, but like yeah, like they did good. There isn't a crappy, and I think the one again on our shelf. So again, good for Bestech for having some like high quality level of. We're not like the display. The one on their website is more boring than either one. I was gonna say
it doesn't look bad, but it definitely looks more boring than the kind of wavy lines we have on ours.
I'd rather them sell it like that than the other way around.
When you get it, it's already blingier. Yeah.
If they show you quote unquote worst case scenario for your olive wood, and no matter what you like, it's not going to get more boring than that, right? And it still doesn't look bad. Again, it's just kind of basic.
Still got a classy look.
Yeah, I think.
And Dick Richards, you did see that. I mean, it's one for the record books, right? So
there you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, I'm distracted. On topic. We can talk about a Glok if we want to. We can talk about a Lito more. But
do final thoughts for both of them afterwards, or final thoughts for this one first?
We could do final thoughts, I guess, on this one if we want.
If you buy this knife, do you have to name it Jared?
No.
No, but it's funny you say that because my score was actually going to be 30 seconds. 30 seconds to Mars. Yeah.
Yeah.
You stole it. Oh, I had to sneak it in there quick because I knew that someone was going to get that.
Yeah.
But then you almost also might get, some supposed charges for texting underage girls at the same time. So,
awkward.
Yeah, that's maybe not the best score you could possibly give a knife that you
30 seconds to jail.
Dislike. Yeah.
Straight to jail.
And we get sued.
As is tradition.
Allegedly.
There is some alleged. Yeah.
I know.
Alleged jail, okay?
Alleged jail?
Yeah. I don't have a score for this. Shut after all that.
Yeah. Dennis stole everybody's thunder. It's okay. It's okay.
Well, there's a lot of places. I mean, he had some shit movies you could ping off of to get he had some good movies too. I mean, Lord of War was solid. He even died in it. So Nick Cage almost believed that he was crying. I mean, he almost believed he was crying. None of the rest of us did.
All right, how's this for a rating? This knife ain't a joke.
I feel like committing suicide.
Oh,
squad.
Oh,
definitely squad goals there.
Fucking don't say that, Jesus Christ. Squad goals. Just
squad goals.
Just a bunch of fucking tombstones.
And the channel disbands.
Yeah, that's how she goes. It's how she goes.
Like watching mom and dad fight. I think that was the quote, wasn't it, Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should get this knife if you like knives with a 2.5-inch blade.
If you're looking for a
yeah.
smaller, classy, gentlemanly thumb stud opening, this definitely ticks the boxes. Like, it's seriously, it's if you're looking for, in any variation, I think you're gonna get a winner in any 4 variation. I really do. I think if we brought in other variations of this knife, they would probably have just as nice fit and finish as this particular one. Right? Like,
agreed.
For a knife in this size, I can't think of any particular disadvantages. Like, we all just kind of had good things to say about this knife, and I did want to address that briefly. Like, there really wasn't anything that stood out as like, I really wish they hadn't done this, or this seems like a poor design choice, or like.
Well, I mean, a couple of my nitpicks, but I mean, other than that, it's
but
right? Like, it was.
But nothing like drastically negative. Like, this is a pretty well made, well designed knife. Oh, here's one last positive thing I'll say about it. It doesn't really. Well, we kind of talked about this earlier. Dennis had brought up this really doesn't look like any one other particular knife. It does stand out as far as it kind of being its own thing. As far as a folder goes.
Just want to quickly shout out the fact that Ben is back. Welcome back from nice. Helping a friend.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Indeed. I assumed he wanted to be here for the Glok conversation, and we're getting there. So it was perfect timing.
Now we could get right into her. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Glokia says, anybody know why it's called the Glok? Glok?
Brap.
I don't know why it doesn't have a C.
Trademark.
So this is designed by Cano Alfaro, and I don't know. I don't know anything else about this knife as far as the design.
That is only the second person named Keanu I've ever heard of.
Fair enough.
That's amazing.
I'm sure there's more. I'm sure there's more. I'm sure there's more Keanu's in the world.
I'm sure there is, but I kind of assumed that Keanu's parents just made up that name.
Paul, never change.
So, Bestech Glok again in 4 flavors. You've got 4 flavors to choose from for the Bestech Glok.
You really do.
Hey, look, a relevant size comparison. Good times.
Yeah.
Good times.
So we had the purple and the black and the silver and the blue to look at, which is great. Other variations include, what is this? Blue G10? Wow, what kind of
gray?
color?
They call it gray.
So that looks. They sure do call that gray, but I mean.
I know. You think I'm gonna shortchange you on what they call gray? Come on.
I'm a little concerned. I'm a little concerned about color accuracy, but
it's the bluest gray I've ever seen.
Well, the good news is it's the one thumb plate that matches the barrel spacers. Oh no, the Desert Tan one does too. And by that I mean black. They all have black barrel spacers. It doesn't matter what color you play with. They all have black. See this purple one right here? Black. That's what you get.
Awesome.
Oh no, you don't. Sorry.
I was gonna say,
son of a bitch.
Isn't that one silver? So is that the only one with silver?
Yeah. No, the gray one has silver too, but it has a black thumb plate. Oh, so it clashes. Those hippies.
So silver
they all clash, okay?
Silver hardware, silver blade is the way that they're laying it out then. Except for the button, because fuck you. Actually, I have something to say about that. I am happy to see that they just kept with the plain silver buttons for the button locks and not coated them, because I have had blade plate introduced on every single knife I've ever had that was a button lock with a black coating, and B, Chinese produced. So there's that. There was a Civivi, it's a Cogent? No, the Cogent was the one I had. The Button Lock Elementum 2, which is in another room, otherwise I'd show that one off too. There was a Kaiser, just so you think I'm not picking on Civivi, the Beg Lighter XL that developed a little bit of play until the coating wore off. Just brutal. Just brutal. The lock face should not be a thing that is coated. That doesn't make sense to me. It's just going to introduce room for error. I don't know why companies do it. I'm just happy to see that even on the black-bladed, black hardware versions of this knife, they do not coat the locking interface. That is the thing that you should avoid doing. So I'm glad they avoided doing it. Good job doing it properly.
Girder above D2, 1428 Sandvik versus D2. That's part of the reason. Cheaper steel. I don't know about that. It's actually probably more expensive steel than D2 is kind of cheaper on the wholesale market than 1428 because they can get it from China and not from Sandvik.
So
anyway, I'm going to stop talking like this.
But that is a good point. That is something to keep in mind. For Chinese produced knives in particular, they have production facilities that are all they do is make materials like G10, and all they do is make steels like D2, because these are things that are used in a variety of products, not just knives. But because it's all homegrown, so to speak, trading and acquisition and transport, a lot of these costs are just going to be lower. But D2 in particular it's just a ballpark recipe. 14C Sandvik comes from Sandvik specifically. They have a patent on that. They're the only ones producing it, to my knowledge anyway. And it really only comes from, I think, just the one source. So they're going to have to pay more in order to import it to work on it.
And that's why mini penguins were more expensive than full-size penguins.
Yeah.
Well, ball bearings compared to copper washers. Copper. Weird. It works. Whatever. Yeah. But weird. Anyway.
I like copper washers. They're nice. But
Ben is saying that he wishes it was in D2 or something better. Dick Richards is arguing with him that 14C Sandvik is significantly tougher, which I would agree with. It's probably one of my favorite budget steels.
Yes and yes.
Yeah. In 2023 budget steels. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Back when Kershaw was the only game in town, that was not a budget steal. But
what are you talking about? You can still get a blur for $175. Yeah. Doesn't have to be a budget steal.
Look,
like Bestech with D2 or bench made with D2. It doesn't have to be a budget steal. Depends on who makes it.
Ben's saying he's just a D2 fanboy, which I get because D2 is pretty awesome as well.
But that's good. I'm glad that there are still people who appreciate D2 for what it is, because everybody's using it now. But that's a good thing. D2 is not a bad steel. It's pretty versatile.
I can live with this world where D2 is our new budget steel, because ACR sucked my butt.
Like, imagine the edge holding of 14C Sandvik, but about half the toughness.
And I say suck my butt because I'm censored for my 11-year-old daughter, because I wouldn't even give her HCR.
Yeah, that's fair.
You got VG10 or S30. No, I think she got it.
I'm glad you explained it, because I was going to ask.
Yeah, I thought it was just being silly. Just being a silly little guy.
It's kind of like Oz 8. Go away. Just go away, Ozzy.
Almost identical.
See, I don't actually dislike those steels nearly as much as Dennis does, but I do agree. If you're gonna be given the choice between, especially for similar prices, just give me the 14C all day.
Yeah.
Well, apparently Laren's saying 63 on the 8CRs, 64 on the 8CRs.
So here's the thing so Knife Steel Nerds, Laren, he actually did have an article that came out. And without getting too far into it, you can push those steels into very high Rockwells, and they seem to perform okay, but no one outside of Spyderco is doing it. So
Spyderco got their 8CR at?
So they used to do it at, I think, 60 to 61, but I don't know if that's still the case. Yeah, that was back when the bird line was first introduced, when they thought they were getting 440C, and then they ended up getting it tested, found out it was 8CR 13, 8CR 14, whatever it was at the time. That's what they were pushing the heat treat at, was at the 60 plus. but I don't know about right now. I have been trying to dig up that information in lieu of a conversation, and I haven't been able to find anything conclusive. So, yeah, I would be very curious to learn the current day hardnesses on those.
I also watched that video. It was very informative. I liked it.
I haven't actually watched the video yet. I just read the
Infinite
article.
HCR is actually great. Yeah, compared to gas station knives. Come on, man. Channel you on right now.
That being
Like,
said,
it's-
at just roughly anecdotally, and then we really should talk about the Glocks. I have had better results with overall edge holding from Spyderco's HCR and CRKT's HCR than I have from, say, Kershaw's or any other brands. And I've relatively isolated for edge geometry, similar blades to similar blades, that kind of thing. So it definitely depends on who's doing what with it. Speaking of who's doing what with what, ceramic ball bearings 14C, G10, and button locks for not a ton of dollar dues. The Glock comes in at $70 down from 80.
Yeah,
American?
$80 American down to 68 on their website. Clip stainless steel button lock, ceramic ball bearing, thumb studs aluminum.
That makes sense with the color
or
of
the
the
plate.
plates,
Yeah. It's they say thumb studs, but yeah. Overall 8.07, blade length 3.5, hint over 3.5, 90 mils. Blade thickness 3.2. Knife weight. This what? It has a knife weight 102.6 grams. I don't know what that is in ounces.
102.6.
Yeah. Why are these guys?
That's
Because it's
three.
a number.
That'd be 3.6 ounces.
It's interesting. It is a full size knife. That's not too bad. 3.6 because it is like 3.5-inch blade. There's definitely some internal skeletonizing on this bad boy for sure.
Yeah.
I did get one picture. There was one close-up picture that highlighted everything I love and hate about this knife. Well, no. The thumb plates are pretty cool, actually. Good old Emerson, bringing back the Bob Truzola, bringing back thumb plates. Good for you guys. Do more of those. What? Touch your face. Just don't baton with it, or take the plate off before you baton. Raja
thumb
styles.
plates.
Yeah.
Thumb plates are pretty nice. Thumb discs too.
They're not my thing.
That's fair. I really like them on some knives, and this is one of those knives. I'm gonna throw up the picture of Dennis holding it quickly just to show you. It's actually, and if you could show off to the camera, Dennis, just how wide that thumb plate is compared to the rest of the knife. Like, yeah. So you get like right behind the edge if you really want to, and you get the full support of that plate.
I'll absolutely give you that. You do get some nice support with it.
Yeah, it's just a nice touch. And for kind of a bruiser like this knife is, like, I don't know about you guys, but I really see this as just you grab it, you just kind of kick the shit out of it sort of knife. I mean, despite the ball bearings, the design of this blade and like the geometry involved, the steel that they're using, this is meant to be a work knife. That's fun and fidgety, but
big belly on it doesn't mean very fine tip. Definitely robust in that. And then with this, like, I don't know, dual grind thingy they got going on the front end of the tip.
Yeah.
Definitely leads itself to be able to do some heavy duty work.
And they
almost
put some
reminiscent
effort.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, they put some real effort into the grinding of the blade here. For a little while there, we were kind of convinced that the measurement was wrong, or that the thickness at the spine wasn't necessarily what it said on the website, but they actually have that swedge go all the way up to the thumb plate. So the steel stock thickness is absolutely at that 3.2 or whatever Dennis said it was earlier. But that swedge at the backside is kind of deceiving. But it's nice and symmetrical on both sides of the blade. Like, it didn't look obviously off on the models that I checked.
Everything was clean. Yeah. And like even the bevel grind, like if you look at like you have to be with that dual grind on the front. You can't be Benchmade bailoading it and charge $350 like you're American made. Come on, where do you think you're made? Get your shit together. You better have it, or we won't buy your shit because it's not American made. It's
I was going to say that tip is kind of reminiscent of the Chris Reeves Tantos as far as like how it tapers. It
Little
does have
bit.
the secondary grind, but
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I do.
And it's funny because when I saw the blade shape of it to begin with, I thought a lot more, and then I played with them side by side. But when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, it's a fixed-bladed swamp romper." And then you actually put up a picture of the Condor swamp romper, and yes, it's got a lot of belly on a swamp romper, but they're not even close to the same. Or a folding swamp romper, not a fixed-bladed swamp romper, because a fixed-bladed swamp romper is the swamp romper.
It is. It is indeed. Yeah.
As far as the lock bend, solid. Not too many heavy duty spine wax because these knives aren't ours, but I just did that, and yeah, it seemed to be pretty decent on the black one. So yeah, it seems to be pretty decent on the purple one too. So yeah, I'm not going to go too hard because again, brand new knives, but against the silicone mat on the corner of a wood desk, they took up pretty good. Yeah, so
There's a side by side for the colors there too. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really do like the simplicity of the lines on this one.
I really appreciated the spy versus spy kind of motif of this picture in particular.
Yeah.
I appreciated this one.
Absolutely.
I was hoping to get you the pictures in time so this could be our screenshot for tonight, but
yeah. Well, I can still throw it up for the actual
the
picture.
thumbnail,
But,
yeah.
Yeah. I on the one hand, I really enjoy knives that have a very simple, clean exterior aesthetic, especially to handles. Like the crossbones I had up earlier, the little. On the one hand, I'm like, yeah, kind of lazy. They're just rectangles. But on the other hand, it's like I can't argue with how nice it feels just to have just nothing telling me what to do ergonomically. But on
I will
this
say.
knife, oh yeah.
Sorry, go
for it.
ahead. Finish your point.
Oh, I was just gonna say the big finger choil does come in and it gives you a bit of direction too, but it's such a wide scoop that I don't find it irritating to hold. And that was all. Yeah.
We've touched on that a lot over the years, as far as a single finger choil and then a neutral handle is probably the most universally comfortable.
One of the things I was just noticing as we're sitting here chatting, the spine, especially on the uncoated one, the coated one, obviously, because it's got a coating, but the uncoated one, the spine is sharp as shit. Like, I could strike a ferro rod all day on this thing. It's crisp. This is the opposite of lion steel. This is like, it's. I mean, the good news is it's completely like recessed in the handle. So as far as it being closed, you're never going to feel that crisp spine as far as being like protruded out, being a crisp. But holy crap, that's impressive, guys.
Yeah,
you can use it as a cabinet scraper. It's fine.
So one of the other things I noticed as we were just sitting here chatting with it here, but the big stout tip, the oversized belly, the button lock, ease of access, big finger choil, just as Joe was pointing out, this is a folding Skinner. This is straight up designed as a hunting knife. They need to market this as a hunting knife because if you look at this flow through design right here, like, and then you look at the ease of the button lock to clean and to rinse out in 1428 Sandvik, and you're looking at this as far as, and then the flat handle. The most ergonomic.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I just lost audio for a few seconds there. Well, what did you just say?
Sorry, the flat handle is, I was like, folding Skinner is kind of what this is. And if you look at the middle of this knife and how easy it is to clean out, but you look at the flat palm of it, not necessarily the most ergonomic. And I don't know if you guys noticed that as well, that the swell, it's not, it's a brick. And again, true to its name, a little bit of a brick in your hand type of idea, right? Like it's a Glok.
Yeah.
But the one thing I will say, and I instantly just grabbed it and started to grab it sideways and used it in like a flat grip, especially. And that nice flat handle for doing sideways kind of motions and things rather than holding it.
Grip.
Yeah. Holding it in said grip and using it in that gives you so much texture with the checkering on it, the frag pattern on it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. That's a good point. I was gonna say I find the handle a little bit wide front to back, but in that pinch grip, that would alleviate that perfectly and give you a nice wide flat area to lay your thumb. You're not gonna slide off the side of it.
Well, and again, true to the name, the grip being a little bit blocky in the handle.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Being a Glock, it's
and given that it doesn't really taper towards the butt end at all, that there's just a little bit of a dip right by the lanyard hole. It's definitely different. Like, because of that deep finger choil, it sits differently in the hand here. With something like this, you still have the support of the material further up than the edge, so when you're holding it and pinching it, the butt end of the knife kind of goes against the back of my palm a little bit more, I find. It took some getting used to playing with a Glock and being like, oh, that does feel like different and a little bit strange. But I think even if it's something that throws you off at first, I think most people would get used to it. I don't think that would be to the detriment of many.
So I have one zoomed in picture.
You do, and I was hoping you would talk about this.
Well, I'll talk about a couple things in this particular picture. First of all, steel liners, pretty nicely internally milled. I'll give them credit for that. If you can see pockets. There's some pockets there. No,
there's
just to the
there.
left of those said pockets, there's also some drilled holes where they could have made this thing a lefty, but they're assholes. And that's not for my 11-year-old daughter to hear.
Yeah, so we looked at these in the shop, and I distinctly remember taking a light and looking for threading, because we're like, there's no way. But in the photo here, I can't tell if that's the ridge of the top of those holes, or if it might actually be the start of threading. Can you tell?
I think it is threading myself. I've looked in depth on this. I'm just trying to find a quick little flashlight. Wait, there's one in my pocket.
Perfect. Does the black model have silver liners? Would that be easier to look at?
Oh, it's 100% threaded. 100% all the time.
Okay, so that makes sense from a production standpoint, only if you intended both sides to be mountable. Obviously, from this deeply zoomed in picture, you can see that there is a milled pocket on the right installation side. Unfortunately, that does not seem to be the case.
Going to look at the silver one. Maybe the black one is being deceiving with milling marks.
I just want to point out that Ben's laughing at you in chat.
I know. Ben laughs at me a lot in chat. That's okay. That's okay. Now, here's one other thing that I'm going to call Bestech out for. Yeah, those are threaded. Those are motherfucking threaded. You bet they are. They're so goddamn threaded. Okay.
Are they identical? Like, are they just making the one plate and it's...
That's my guess. Yes, that's the fastest way for them to machine as many as possible, all that they need. That does make sense if the liners are interchangeable from side to side.
And the button, the button has the same cutout hole. It's just how they interface the liner with either the hole cut out or the hole not cut out. And but the washer on the inside is completely the same too. Like it's 100%.
Yeah.
There you go.
Missed opportunity.
So here's the other thing that's going to be the big kick in the nuts is you'll notice that they do have like a cutout on where the clip goes. So they would have had to mill the outside of the G10. But if they had milled the outside of the G10, the purple one's easier to explain. If they had milled the outside of the G10, they could have used the steel that they have to cut out of that screw or that pocket clip and use that as the plate to put on this side, because you got to cut those holes out anyway. Right?
Yeah. It would have been nice. Would have been nice.
So you already have the piece of steel to make the little steel plate for the other side.
The strange thing to me is that they went to the effort of doing it to their more expensive Lito,
Yes.
but not
Inlays-
the cheaper Glok.
Inlays can be made the same way.
That are definitely left and righty.
And when they're making a micarta, carbon fiber, or wood inlay, you can make them the same way. And the easiest way to do that is to mill those holes and then just put the screw on the other side. Right?
Yeah, but on the wood inlays, they would have to do.
The inlays you wouldn't be able to swap from side to side.
You'd have to mill both, which
And then
it's
split
just
them down the
easier to
middle.
have done, and they didn't do it.
At least with
Doesn't
the
make
wire.
sense.
At least with the wire clip. Like, no matter how they decided to do it, ultimately that was a more expensive decision on that knife, and it would have taken, I don't know, not even 4 seconds to mill that pocket out, and another 2 seconds to clean
They're
it.
just dicks. They're just dicks. Like
Oh man, yeah, it's very silly. Oh, okay, and another 2 to 3 seconds to drill out the holes.
You could have made your pocket clip a little bit wider through the like bent over section, and attach this from the inside of the knife as well,
like
and
penguin
completely
style.
remove all issue of milling the outside of the handle scales. Even
It's just so close. It's so close.
Yeah.
they heard you were talking shit, Dennis, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna show him."
Oh, okay. So should I continue to talk shit and tell them how much their clip fucking sucks?
Please do.
Okay, so your clip sucks. This thing sucks so bad. Put a frag pattern on a tight as shit clip and then ask people to put it on their pocket for more than 4 times without ripping the crap out of their pocket.
It's a cold steel clip, bro.
I'm short-winded. No, it's worse than a cold steel clip. It's brutal. It's goddamn brutal how tight this thing is.
Isn't you really finding it that bad?
Did you put this thing in your pocket?
I'm pretty sure Dick Richards is talking shit to me and Joe about our favorite color right now.
Hey.
Saying, isn't purple a girl's color? You wrong, bruh.
No, he's not wrong. My fiance also likes purple, but fuck it, I like purple too. Don't have my blurple military to flash. You know, if I had more purple knives, I'd be a slightly happier man.
Yep.
So yeah. Anyway, off of purple. I don't care about purple. Talk about this goddamn clip. So
right. So I didn't actually put the purple one in my pocket, but you're saying the tension is brutal on both of them?
Yeah, it's awful.
So,
okay.
Dude, so with a clip as short as a bug out clip, because that's what kind of size you're working with right now. The problem with that is when you've got the frag pattern on the backside with some aggressive G10, and then you're doing a vertical screw pattern to hold it in that much tighter. I think with Benchmade doing the screws on either side, for some reason, it seems to me like that would give you more flex than the screws that are vertical up and down on that short of a clip. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe that offers you more physical flex in the science world. I don't know.
I think by putting that big ass hole in the middle of the clip, you reduce its integrity, and therefore have to thicken it overall. To
yes, but
they did it wrong on the wrong knife.
Yeah,
they did.
So if you don't care about your pants, buy this knife.
Okay, but that being said, as far as problems with a knife goes, the tension on a sheet clip is probably one of the easiest things to fix.
Oh yeah, take it off and flex it to the right amount, and then move on with your life. For sure.
Oh, I don't even know if taking it off, but just pry it. Just pry it. Yeah.
Just crank on it a little bit.
Just crank on it until the lock doesn't work properly. It's fine.
This is a button lock. How hard are you cranking that thing?
Sorry, that might have been a reference to other modifications.
100%.
It's not so much that the lock didn't work; it just was broken.
Oh well, it
could be made better.
It couldn't work because it wasn't there anymore.
No shit.
So
yeah,
if I have one complaint about this knife, it's that you will definitely want to take the clip off. You will want to flex it to a reasonable, maybe not take it off, maybe leave it on the way it is, but flex it to a reasonable amount of like flexiness, and then put it in your pocket because it will shred. Like, I don't know how you're going to get it off your pocket in any sort of like convenient situation. Like
I've gotten very used to lifting the edge of the clip as I pull
Good luck.
tighter clips from my pants.
Good luck. This thing doesn't flex, bro.
I mean, you don't need it to move much.
It's wide enough. Like I showed Paul, and he was skeptical, and then he put it in his pocket, and it was like, "Can I try?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Holy shit, dude!" Like,
I put it in my pocket once, and I won't do it again.
So it's not a viable solution. That's too bad.
Out of box, this is probably one of the tightest pocket clips I've played with in 2 to 5 years, dude. Like, it's seriously
outside of Cold Steel.
No. They beat Cold Steel's pocket clips.
Because I'm gonna bring this little bastard in, and because this is a horrible pocket clip.
I get that, but you've got a hole underneath that little lip that you can get at least material underneath.
Sort of.
Anyway, yeah, I'm more than happy to play with it, but you come in next week.
I'm curious to see.
First thing you do, sir, is put a Glok in your pocket.
There you go. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, be prepared to modify your clip.
A little bit. Yeah. And I mean, maybe Dremel out the other side and make it a lefty while you're at it, because it's already got the threaded screws, those assholes. So, yeah.
It's just so perplexing. Like, fuck, you came so close.
Because they're dicks. Because they're dicks.
Just get a Dremel and a really steady hand.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll do it.
I bet you could make it work.
Probably could, actually. I did get a fancy new Dremel for Christmas, so.
Line it up with the clip, the original clip.
Anyway, overall, yeah, so I like this knife. I actually do, quite a bit. Take the clip off, flex it proper, get over the grip, turn it into your Skinner 1428 and an easy flow through design. I don't know what the pivots, well, ball bearings, salute, but after.
I think it's ceramic. I think it's ceramic ball bearings.
It is.
So it should be okay.
But hardware-wise, as far as rinsing and cleaning. But
that's nice. Yeah, with that 14C ceramic, nice and stainless too.
Yeah, so I imagine, and even an outdoorsy, like if you want to use this as a campy knife, a food prep knife, or whatever type of thing, it's light enough. It's
The only real area of concern for me would be the coil spring they're using for the button lock. That would really be about the only thing I'd be concerned about as far as long-term exposure to fluids, whether it's water or blood or whatever else.
Stop talking about my fluids, Joe.
No, I'm gonna keep talking about them.
He said whatever else. That left it open-ended, right?
Like, yeah, he did. I appreciate that.
But that being said, I've used just on the topic of button locks, I've used this guy, the Real Steel Griffin, quite hard over the last few years. I don't think I've ever really had an issue. It's not like the button's really all that hidden. Like,
well, it's not like the spring really moves that much either.
No, and typically coil springs are going to have a thicker gauge of wire. Yeah, they're not shifting as much. They're not going to wear in as badly as, say, an Omega spring or something similar. And they're going to be easier to replace. Actually, just thinking about that, coil springs you can buy off Amazon pretty cheap. You can even buy some that are made specifically for button lock knives, like added from like knifekits.com or something like that. Like, as far as user repairability, I think this is not a bad choice.
I'm pretty sure Infinite is making making a case for Joe being a xenomorph in chat right now.
Yeah.
Did you not get jacket?
Fluids. Also, Joe, acid sweat.
Yeah, that can be a concern.
And Ben, when you're talking about mods, when you're talking about dremeling, I'm already looking at liners, dude. It's
so
not outside the realm of.
Here's the thing that I'm curious about. If you were to take the knife apart, keep the liner inside the button side scale, right, and then use those holes as guides to send a pilot drill through, and then widen it out. You should.
100%.
I wonder if the screws it comes with are large enough to just engage enough to where it's secure, or whether you would still need to pocket out the G10 to get that engagement.
You might be able to sell replacement clips on their own website too.
What's that? Sorry.
Doesn't Bestech sell replacement clips like Civivi and stuff, where you get like
that? Maybe something we've talked about before. Yeah.
I don't know if Bestech does. And yeah, like you said, we and Civivi. I was looking at Kaiser recently that
Was it
did as
Kaiser that
well.
we were looking at?
Yeah,
Okay, we were looking at one recently that wasn't the Civivi
who's
that I
Kaiser?
bought.
Yeah. Yeah. Good times. But yeah, they're dicks about being lefties. It's a blocky handle, just like a Glock. Easy fire.
Stop being lefty.
It's hard to not have a thumb plate engage properly. I will say that, Paul.
I'll give you that.
Flicking, rotating open, it's pretty hard not to. And so even thinking about this as a cap knife, a neutral enough knife you can hand pretty much to anyone. Neutral enough handle, they can use it. Some broomstick on the end of it all. Like it's
So speaking of that, one more kudos to this big old finger choil, but the way that it's designed, I didn't really find too many grips where I found my finger was in danger of accidentally disengaging that button.
close. I did put it in a bunch of those side pinchy grips.
Outside of a pinch grip, yeah, because with a pinch, your thumb's going pretty close to that pivot anyway, right? So that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. But again, even the pinch you can get like up along the plate, even.
Yeah, I just mean that like with a well-designed. How do I do this and still on camera? Yeah, sure, why not? With a finger choil design like this, where the sweep is downwards, it pulls your hand off at an angle, like that. And even if you have a place to choke up, there's extra material relative to the front of the pivot, so your finger should come just in front. Similar feeling with the Glock, at least for me.
Yeah, like it's even when I'm using it in my right hand, you're still like pretty away from. Yeah.
But as a lefty, you don't really notice too much of that while it's in your left hand.
Well, no, it's right.
Oh, I more mean even just like the side of your finger getting in the way and potentially hitting stuff it shouldn't.
I don't know what you're doing that you're no. Like
Okay.
you'd have to have your hand like this.
Way up, yeah.
Like that, and
if you're
pushing the wrong direction.
If you're holding your knife in any sort of way, like I'm trying to get the button to engage right now, and I'm like, I can't get my finger to engage. No, I can't. I physically can't get my finger to engage it.
Good. Yeah.
Like even as a lefty, for me to be able to get my finger into a position where that lock would disengage is physically impossible. I'm trying to press it with the flat of my finger even, and like using the flat of my finger to try to press the button, and I can't get it depressed enough to have it unlock.
Right. It is an issue I mostly notice with more narrow handles with button locks, but it is something that has come up for me occasionally. So.
And I suppose with a righty, but again, the way that it's recessed, like even as a righty, for you to be able to get that lock in use and have it disengage,
you gotta be trying for it.
You gotta be aiming for the button. You gotta know your fingers on the button and be like, nope, I don't care. I'm gonna keep going. Like it's so.
Again, that is all caveated by the idea that if I'm pushing edge into something, even if I disengage the lock, it's not going to fold on me.
Shouldn't, yeah.
But yeah, I don't see it happening on this particular knife. The way that they've recessed that cutout for where the button is,
right? Yeah.
As much as the button needs to be pressed past that recess, again, Bestech did it right. It's the button is basically flush with the handle, and then you have to recess it significantly further past that.
Which is the way you should do it, Kaiser.
So, no, it's fine. It's fine.
This knife in particular is a little strange in certain grips. So,
the cormorant is just kind of strange. So,
yeah, just as a general rule, yeah.
Accurate.
Well, cool. Another relatively positive review for Bestech. Good job, guys, bringing in outside designers. Oh, we didn't mention who the Lito was designed by, did we?
Yeah, Keanu.
No, the Lito.
Oh, no.
The Lito was done by Ostapel.
Yes, it was.
Same guy who does your Ivy.
That
Yeah.
explains why I like it.
Guy's got a really wide design range. Like,
Yes. He's like the anti-Ken Onion.
But even that has like, I know he made the tulip and he made the ivy and he's got like these other ones that like have this like little bit of almost like a flowery vibe. This thing has, I don't know why, like even the blade shape, like it's got a bit of a flowery, like it's a pretty knife. Like he likes making pretty knives,
Yeah.
and not necessarily like, I don't know, girly and fun. Like all of them were very like the ivy is will mess you up.
Lots
but,
of
yeah.
lots of sweeping, lots of
I can
sweeping
say from
curves.
personal experience,
And,
it'll mess you up.
yeah.
The Ivy zipped me open.
The Ivy's a nice knife. So is the Lito. So was the Glock. Where does that leave us, guys?
Leads us with a final impression on this one, and I hope you guys got some good Glock scores to give this thing.
I got one or two.
Okay, good. It's
Yeah.
What? Go ahead. Yeah.
I was gonna give it a 17 out of 21.
I see.
You know,
see some Glock
Clock
scores.
medals and all that.
Yeah, for sure.
I almost gave it a 17 to 19, but it's nice. I feel it's like closer to an 8 out of 10 than a 9 out of 10 for me. You know, an 8 out of 10 or a 17 out of 21. Those are analogous to each other, right?
I see.
Oh, I had something really corny lined up, but
Giver.
Fuck. No, I'm trying to remember what the hell it was.
Okay, I'm just doing a quick count here. 1, 2, 3.
At the very least, Ben agrees with my score.
16. Okay, so I am gonna give this knife a score of 15. Because that's how many parts it's missing from an original Glock. The original Glock had 36 pieces, and to my knowledge, I count 21 on this one.
There you go.
All right.
Apparently, Dick Richards gives it a 0 left pocket clips, which is apparently a very positive score for him.
That's pretty mean-spirited, but okay.
Yeah. Did you give your score, Joe?
No, I had a thing, but I don't think it's going to be very funny, so that's okay. Yeah. There was a joke in there somewhere too about it being kind of snub-nosed, but Glocks don't really have a snub-nosed variant, do they?
You can get like little pocket Glocks. You know,
Yeah.
like a Glock 44, 42, something.
I could have given this knife a perfect rating because it was born in 1982, but I'm just saying. All good things were born in 1982.
I don't know that that's true.
Yeah, some good things were born in 1982.
I'll give you that one. I don't know about all good things.
Let's do a 1982 pros and cons.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No.
We'll be here too long.
Oh, much like the original Glock, I think you'll find this to be a solid, reliable knife. How about that?
Yeah.
I think this is
because no one cuts like Gaston. It's no one shoots like Gaston.
Apparently, the 26th is the classic pocket Glock. I was off.
The 26th. Oh, okay.
26th, yeah.
No one stabs like Gaston.
Yeah,
that's certainly true.
He falls like Gaston.
Okay. For the record, dude's name was Gaston Glock.
Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah, not Keanu. Not Keanu. It's Gaston that created the Glock.
Oh, damn you, Bestech, for creating so many nice knives. So, now,
if they started making stuff lefty, I'd be losing a lot more money.
well, there's
seriously.
a Lito. Look, there's a Lito. That's all I'm saying. So,
I'm redeemed. Justin says there a 42/43 is also a compact Glock. So
It's
I've
the
been
new
redeemed.
smallness.
how
Yeah.
about the smallness? Jeez. How's about this for a kind of an outro topic? I don't know that either of these knives are based off of customs from either of these designers.
I don't know either one of these designers custom stuff well enough to argue that fact.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I think I follow both of these guys on Instagram, but I have.
I think I follow O-Step, but
Does O-Step do custom? I don't know if I've ever seen his custom stuff. Maybe I've been avoiding it, so I don't want it.
yeah, there's that. Oh man, I haven't seen Hostop's page in a while. Shit. Okay.
Ooh, single stack
So,
models.
I mean, on Ostap's page here, he's talking about how it's his latest collaboration. That kind of reads to me like it's not a like this was a design for Bestech rather than an adaptation of a design he's already come up with.
could be.
It wouldn't
Wasn't it?
surprise me.
Wasn't it him with QQ?
Yep.
So I mean, he does collabs a lot.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, there was that whole thing too. Yeah.
Speaking of, I want one.
Yeah, that'll be a fun review if we can get those.
Yep.
I'm trying to look up Keanu. Oh, I'm already drawing a blank on his last name. Alfonso?
Which sounds like a likely story.
Alfaro.
All of a sudden, we've got somebody singing Disney show tunes in our chat about
Well,
Stone.
Someone's got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
We all knew this day was coming.
So, have you guys seen? Do either of you particularly watch Metal Complex on YouTube?
No.
Okay, that's fair. So I do tune in just to see what he's unboxing and whatever else, and I'll click through the videos. So he's had a rash apparently of 3 different Good Boy models, also from Bestech Man, not Bestech, but Bestech Man. And you know what? That alone may have answered my question. Where he was having issues with a lefty pocket clip, by the way, having issues with tapping the spine and having them almost immediately fold, like under pretty moderate pressure. Whereas the Glock never had a failure. None of the Glocks he had spine whacked or any other button lock from Bestech for that matter.
Bestech, but it was liner locks from Bestech Man.
No. It's a button lock from Bestech Man called the Good Boy.
Okay, also a button lock. Yeah, I didn't see that part. Yeah.
I don't like that name.
Good Boy?
Good Boy?
Yeah.
Oh.
Got some muscle mommy energy to it that I don't like.
Don't worry about it. So this is the knife that, yeah. So if Bestech Man then is made in a different factory, that would explain the difference. Because possibly the geometries are slightly different, but it's just kind of weird that one experiences such a bad failure so easily and the other doesn't.
Well, QC as well, quality control.
But for 3 distinct different models sent to the same reviewer with the kind of following that he has, I would imagine that's just kind of what the geometry of the lock faces are like right now.
Yeah, it just is gonna do that no matter what type of thing, right?
Yeah, so which I think is a shame because I like the look of the Good Boy a little bit more than I like the look of the Glock, just in terms of comfort in hand. But if that lock is failing so readily, that's definitely not a great thing. Maybe it's just because he can get it in this Tiffany blue, this weird bright blue. I kind of dig it.
I don't know why, but the Tiffany blue makes it weirder with the name.
Okay, here, good boy, but it's purple and black. There you go, just for you, Paul.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
I
Oh, hey,
almost said it for the record, but then I didn't.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah. For both our sakes. Yeah, I don't have a lot to say about that other than the fact that it sucks that they're failing that easily.
Well, I mean, the only thing I can say is that we never jumped on board with Bestech Man because Bestech has been doing pretty good for themselves in the budget area. I don't know if Cutting Edge needed to necessarily go more budget than what Bestech actually offers to get into Bestech Man. I think if we were going more budget than that, we'd probably be looking at 7-Cut before we looked at Bestech Man. Probably. I'm just saying. Not 100%.
Like diminishing returns.
So here's a knife.
It sure is.
It is a knife.
Is it S90V?
Well, it's a Tucson, so I hope not. It's D2.
Yeah, I was gonna say if it is, it's actually not.
Yeah. D2 entropic finish kind of looking thing. Some carbon fiber inlays, liner lock. Very similar.
Is it lefty compatible, you assholes?
Yeah, what do you think, Dennis? What do you fucking think? That's actually a solid maybe. I can't tell with the, that clip looks like it might be inlaid. It's hard to tell.
No.
Yeah, it looks like it's pocketed there.
Can I zoom in anymore?
You'll become one with it.
Yeah, it looks like it is.
But it's a Keanu design.
Absolutely.
Looks like it.
I'm not sure whether this came out prior to or not, but obviously there's some shared design language here between the Glocks and the.
What are you talking about? Shared design language? That's a Sleesh Bowie.
You think so? Nah, the Sleesh Bowie's handle is way nicer. And I say that as somebody who likes carbon fiber inlays.
But look at the blade. Like
similar.
There's you got a point to your point on that Sleesh Bowie.
Oh, I got a point. I'm not sure what it was. I lost it a long time ago.
Yeah. That's a mood for sure.
Absolutely. I don't know. I don't want to go too much later, but I did want to touch on one thing very quickly.
Yeah. Touch
it.
So a little while ago, the Microtech ditch with the RAM lock came out.
Yep. That was one.
And then I got an opportunity on the weekend to play with two of them back to back within a couple hours of each other. And I think I'm going to buy one.
Get to throw up that picture right here. Yeah.
I played with like a satin finished one as well as this two-tone finished one. Gotta say, I think I'm going two-tone. It's pretty nice. It's a big PPT. It's not definitely not the same size as.
It's a big fucking knife.
Yeah. Was Craig in the shop?
No. Does Craig have one of those too?
No, I was curious.
Who has one of those? I will tell you after the stream.
All right. Good to know.
Yeah. It makes me terrified. I wanted to see if I could quickly pull up a size comparison, but it makes me terrified of how big the amphibian's going to be in person. Because I still want one, but holy hell. Yeah.
Yeah, the amphibian's going to be 4 feet long.
There we go. The first one I didn't see. Jeez. Yeah. Okay. So the handle's not actually that much longer than the stitch. It just utilizes more of that blade length. Okay. I feel better. But that's still a big knife. That's still a huge knife.
Yeah.
Silly town.
Nice.
Why don't you just buy a Bestech Imp? It's like almost the same blade shape.
The Imp?
The Goblin?
Yeah, exactly.
No. It's like the Goblin is like this thing
Nah.
before I got its Botox and
The Goblin is more what I'm thinking
Ah.
of, but yeah.
I do like the M. The M's silly fun. The handle to blade ratio is ridiculous.
Don't worry about it.
Just like your stupid Stitch.
Yeah, I'm into it.
What do you mean blade to handle ratio matters?
It's fine. It's fine. It doesn't.
It doesn't.
Sure it doesn't.
But yeah, quite nice. I don't know exactly the like name of the model, but it was the aluminum handled one with M390 MK.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
So sad.
But certainly solidified in my mind the desire to have it.
Yeah.
Fair. That's fair. I don't think I share that desire in any sort of way.
That's completely fair.
Although these guys can go lefty, assholes.
Yeah. So this, to me, I feel like is your like mini pocket rocket.
It's just so dumb. It just might work.
It's
just
dumb.
find its way to your pocket. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's too funny.
That in one pocket, a PPT in the other. I'm ready for anything.
Jesus, what a pairing.
Yeah.
And I say that with no admiration whatsoever. I want you to know that's a terrible choice.
Wait till you just stand there ready for anything, and then nothing happens.
Yeah.
It's just Paul standing there. 14 hours.
Oh, I'm ready.
That's ready for anything. Let me at him.
Where's that cardboard box?
So that's a stupid thing to end on. So I'm going to just say that Vosteed raccoons are now coming in aluminum.
Ooh, neat.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
That was a sneak peek for, I think, probably the SHOT Show coming up in a couple of weeks. But I think it was on their social needs. I don't think they put it online yet, but maybe they did. Maybe I'm wrong.
That
Very
says
nice.
G10.
Yeah, but they sneak peeked. I think it was an orange aluminum, which caught my eye.
Also in a frag pattern, I see. Man, frag patterns need to continue to proliferate and spread. That's just a wonderful way to add texture. It's great.
Spread your frag. That's what they do, Joe.
Mm-hmm. I've been trying. I mean, almost 42 at this point. Haven't given up yet.
Boy. Okay.
So it'll be more colors, I'm sure. But yeah, to give you an idea, there's some Vosteed aluminum.
Oh, I like that.
I like that diamond texture. Yeah. That orange is nice. Very cool.
I'm saying. Caught my eye.
Absolutely.
Take it and go.
That's a little bit less stupid, so I guess we can end it there.
We haven't even reviewed a Vosteed yet.
Nope. We'll get there. We might know a guy.
One or two.
Might know a couple. Yeah.
Is that it? We're good?
I think so.
Gonna
that's
thank some sons of bitches like the Cutting Edge for bringing Bestech in. Thanks, Cutting Edge, for bringing Bestech in.
Yeah.
You should put more of them up on the website because I don't know how many are up yet, but not enough from the looks of things.
That is fair.
Just taking a quick look here because I noticed earlier that the Lito was not up yet. Gloks are. All right, so we got the budgets up. I think because the Litos maybe were in limited demand, we left them for an in-store only option, but I'm sure if you contact my web guy, I'll sell you a Lito. But yeah, thanks Cutting Edge for bringing in sweet knives that we can play with. Everyone's been looking forward to the Glok. It almost lived up to expectation. Almost.
Pretty close. Pretty close.
Well,
I'd say. The Lito exceeded. Thanks to everyone on the Instagrams. I want you all to know that I thought about making a post last week and then I forgot. So, starting off the new year, new me, just right.
Yeah.
Ben, I'll try to find more things to rage about in future streams. It's what I do. It's what I love to do. Get your shit together, companies. Come on.
That's what we're here for.
Thank you to everyone contributing on Patreon. We will be sending a thank you gift our way. Christmas 2023 actually happened. There is things coming your way as a big thank you. So we appreciate everything that you guys contributed. Everything is just going back to you guys as a big thank you.
Indeed.
Absolutely. We have your info. The good stuff is happening.
Indeed.
You'll get tracking numbers. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Social medias, like, follow, subscribe, share, all the things. Do all the things. Maybe back again next week. It's a big maybe.
Probably, but yeah maybe.
Our country things.
Yeah, we are headed up to the northerns of Alberta to see if we can have some success getting some wild game in our freezer. So if we get back at a reasonable hour, we will be doing a stream and not completely exhausted. Joe, you'll be leading the show. Just a heads up. So
horrifying. Thank you.
That's fine.
Sounds good.
All right, gentlemen. Thanks for all joining us. We may or may not be back week. We will put up a post if we're not able to make it one way or another here. But that being that, we appreciate you guys showing up. 7:15 Mountain Standard Time. Anytime you are able to join us, that's fantastic and very much appreciated. Having said that, we will see you guys all again here soon. I am who I am. I'm Dennis Vipers.
I am there and Joe.
XL.ca.
Thanks again, guys. We'll probably see you next week. Bye for now.
Well, now you got their hopes up. I mean, we got to try to do it.
Okay, maybe.
Oh, man.